So that's what he wants to do. He's gonna bounce off my hand, right? Come again. So now we got him. So we can fire it out. So he wants to punch me, he's gonna pull back just like that. So like that thing, right? See, I got him. So I got to the brief contact, and now we're moving to prolonged contact. What is this technique that I just did? So what we're doing is the basic, I did the basic push hand pattern. You know, just this, right? So his punch is here. I basically did this. Single-handed push hand, people think. Okay, so good job. The main difficulty that people tend to run into is not clashing with the hands too much. If you punch me, right? If I clash too much right here, this is going to be difficult. After that, everything seems to be going pretty well. So I'm going to give you some tips on how that works. So Tai Chi, people often think about organizing fighting by distances. We're in long range. I got my kicks, big punches and stuff like that. I'm in middle range. We have trapping and push hands, and then we have close range and stuff like that. And that is a totally valid way of organizing. Another way to look at how you organize conflict in combat is by timing. How much time will you be in contact with them? Move your microphone a little higher so that it'll be audible. So one is we're here, and what we're doing is before contact. So I'm going to position myself, place my guard low or high or mixed up in different ways to create openings, close openings, to channel his intention and attacks in certain places. So I'm affecting what will happen in the future before we make contact. And then there'll be times in which we make brief contact. He punches me, and there'll be a brief contact before his hand goes away, and the next one. So this is brief contact. And then when we're really close and we're tangled up, I grab his sleeve or he's wrapped around my arm. So these are long contact, prolonged contact type of things. So based on how much time we're in contact, different skills and different techniques are useful. So let's take contact. So he punches with his right hand. So he's punching here. We have a brief contact before his hand goes back. Okay. So what we want is to, in Tai Chi, usually we want to prolong the contact. So one is I want to stretch out his intention. So he's leaning forward a little bit too much. If he leans forward a little bit too much, then he might pull back a little bit too slow. Does that make sense? So I want to make that happen before contact. Because once he hits, then it's going back. Like there won't be a chance for that. So even before he hits me, right, I'm already baiting him to overextend. Or I come in a little bit, and then like that. So the little things you do will affect that kind of result. He comes, so I put out my hand to catch his punch, or I'll use this hand, like that. And he's like, oh, I'm gonna, his hand's coming, so he'll bounce off my hand and pull back, right? He's not like a focus mitt. He's gonna use me to help him get a clean pull and a clean second punch or something like that. What does that mean? That means the part of your intention is already committed to pushing into his head. Does that make sense? So come again. So that's what he wants to do. He's gonna bounce off my hand, right? So we've seen this in everybody's seen Charlie Brown, right? And so Lucy's a master of this, right? Kick the football, Charlie Brown, and then he goes, whoosh, right? Hilarious. Not very nice, but hilarious. Okay, so that's basically what we're doing. We're doing a Lucy football pull. So I'm baiting him. He wants to punch my face. I go, and then I give him an obstacle. He's like, oh, there's an obstacle. And then I elongate that. So now he's a little bit stretched out, right? And then now we can do the rest of the technique. Does that make sense? So that's one aspect. And so come again, if he punches, maybe I'm going to do this block, but he's going to pull his hand back, right? So he's going to pull his hand back. Yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah. So he's not hanging out forever, right? So come again. So if I give him like this, now there's a little bit of force, and he wasn't ready for it. Now he knows. He's like, oh, there's something solid that's gonna. This is because this song thing, this punk thing that's annoying. So he's gonna brace for it. So he's bracing for it a little bit, and he's gonna maintain his balance or pull his hand back. So you bring, yeah, like that. There you go. So once that starts happening, right? So see, now we got a chance to latch onto his hand like that. So come again. So see, now we got him. So we can fire it off. So these are how I went from a pre-contact technique, how I present something that makes him want to do, and then once he hangs out a little bit too long, okay, let's say if he hangs out a little bit too long, then we can do our push hand type of redirection. skill to make use of that. So you got to have the pre-contact and the brief contact technique to get to the prolonged contact. Otherwise, you're going to look like those people that learn some Tai Chi and try to grab someone and start doing push-ins, and they just get punched in the face repeatedly, right? Because they haven't mastered how to get to the prolonged contact. They have no skill in the before contact. And then sometimes people who did a lot of sparring in other martial arts are very good at pre-contact. They know how to set up the angles, master the timing and distance, and really take advantage of that. So you got to learn to be good at that, and we'll learn to be good at that. So now that once we have that established, you punch me, right? So yeah, so he wants to punch me, and he's gonna pull back just like that, so like that, right? See, I got him. So I got to the brief contact, and now we're moving to prolonged contact. What is this technique that I just did?
Oh my gosh, I'm not sure. Terrible student. I don't know.
I put him on the spot and his brain froze. So Zhongding's not good enough. so what we're doing is the basic. I did the basic push-in pattern. You know, this, right? So his punches here, I basically did this. Single-handed push-in. People think sometimes that single-handed push-in is just a basic thing you learn. So you could do the fancy two-handed push-in patterns and all of that stuff. That's not true. The single-handed push-in pattern is so crucial because that's usually how you will interact with their punches and movements like that. So his punch comes, I stretched him out and I did the first part of the push-in, and now I got this contact with him. And now we can do Chi or Yi or whatever the case may be that you want to apply. So it's just that part. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So try that real quick. So you're going to take this hand, since that's your non-wounded hand. I'm punching, right? And first, present this obstacle and feel my mind like being aware of that obstacle. Then you can start to lead that aside when you have that point there at the end. Yes, like that. So that's a feeling. So I'm trying to punch you. Yes, that's good.
Oops, mistake.
Well, I try to punch and pull back to see if you can catch my hand. Ooh, good. That's right. One more time. Nice. Okay. So what's that like when you get the feel of it?
It's like improving almost like timing.
Timing, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Instead of just trying anything to attack you.
Yeah, timing. So
setting up.
Mm-hmm. Because if you punch me, okay, we'll do this. You punch me, and I'm just trying to like block really fast before his punch goes back. So you punch fast, I block fast. So that's what's going to happen because it's more biomechanical efficient for him to do this than for me to do this. So that's not the key. It's a timing. So he punches me. See, it's the timing. Who said this? Which great fighter? My mind's blanking. But someone said, "Great timing beats great speed every time." Yeah, a boxer, I believe. I just can't think of who. Anyways, if you know, someone knows can tell me later. So yeah, great timing beats great speed. And that's true for us too. And Tai Chi is definitely not the fastest martial art in the world. So it's really about how you control timing. It's a very, very important thing. So there's an important part of that. Now, another aspect is punching with this hand. So you're coming like this, and we were showing left arm to left arm. And I know that some people will point out that that's less efficient and less common these days. It's much more common these days when against like good efficient boxing, both hands up, that you were gonna deal with this hand and that hand with that hand. This is more common. So whereas, because if you punch with this hand, and I block like this, it's questionable whether I'm ready to deal with that hand. Okay, if that's coming really, really quick. So punch towards me. So this hand will be more common to deal with this hand like this. You can still do the same technique that we're talking about. He punches, so we could still lead this and then do the follow-up. Because that's what the catching that we did previously will give us. So you punch me. So his punch is coming towards me like this, and I got him off balance. Let's go again. See, like this. And see, this hand is still making sure I don't get clocked by a right cross over here as he goes off balance. Once we're here, he's off balance. He's bracing against me. I take the Dian and I fire that off. He'll go back. If we're just doing a E practice, but come again. See, like this. Maybe I'll drop him down here, and then now we'll do our follow-up. If we're fighting, I want to take your balance, na you, make you unable to go somewhere, and then continue to follow up. Because I want you to stay nearby as opposed to being projected far away. So this part, what did I do with this hand? What technique was that? Same answer. Single-handed push hand.
Okay.
So we're here. So normally in push hand, let's show this again. I get it here, then he pushes me. I'm coming back like this. So this part he's pushing into me, towards me. So I'm returning before my elbow leaves him aside, like that. That's what that is. He punches me. It's as if I'm out here and he punches, and I'm receiving out like that. Does that make sense? So I'm still doing that. He punches towards me. See, I come here. I'm watching out for that hand. I don't get clocked, right? If I get a chin, I make him go off balance, and then we'll do the follow up, something like that. So does that make sense? So we're still receiving. We might be receiving out here, and then we're following with it. So in the single-handed push hand, you learn how to make contact and start to lead their intention through that contact. But even before you do that, you have to use your pre-contact skills to bait them into overcommitting slightly or to bracing into you. So overcommitting is like I'm like hands up. So right here he can't reach me. See, extend your hand. He can't quite reach me yet. Okay. So here he could almost reach me if he just leans a little bit. So if once I'm there, then he punches, and so I could bait him into. If I just tempt him, and if he doesn't have good discipline with your offense, you might overcommit. That's one way. Another is he punches, and I give him my song, so he's feeling that my weight, my pressure, and he's like, oh, especially if it's a macho guy like him. I'm just kidding. So hands up, he punches me, and I see punches, I put my song into it, and he's like, oh, you think you're strong. So his next punch, he really like braces his body. So I've sort of hands up, he's punching and punch me. So I'm jamming into you with my song and stuff like that. I didn't hurt him, but I'm starting to touch his ego. Does that make sense? I didn't touch his body, but I touched his ego. He's like, oh, you think you shove me back? You think that's how it is? Let's go.
Yeah. All right.
Right? But I don't have it at that time. I empty him out the next time. So in a fight, you want to take not just their body, their balance, but their mental balance. Overcome their 中定, make them lose their discipline. A great fighter doesn't lose their discipline, but we want to try and take that from them so that we have that advantage. So anyway, pre-contact, we're setting up those things affecting their 中定, and then in contact with our single-handed push hand skills, we start to influence their body through that one hand's contact, so that we can get to the two-hand contact and do our applications. That make sense? Okay, any questions? Okay, cool. Thanks for helping me illustrate. Thanks for watching. See you next time.